Welcome to this video review, and today I'm going to talk about the Pulsar Axion XQ35 with an LRF function. So, as you probably know, Pulsar is one of the biggest producers of thermal imaging devices in Europe. In Europe it is probably the biggest, and also one of the biggest in the world, and it's a market leader in terms of, at least for the civilian use of thermal imaging devices. They're based in Lithuania. They're also opening a new factory in Latvia, so in the Baltic states. And their Axions XQ35 are basically successors of the previous Axion Generation 1 XQ38 devices. But now in 2022, these devices were first shown at EVA 2002. Please check our EVA report on them. So they basically refreshed these devices a little bit. So there are not so many differences, they are subtle, but in terms of what you're getting for your money, you're getting a lower price, much lower price. This one is priced as 1,990 euros. The previous one is 1,390 or 290, so around 300 euros less, and you're getting better optical performance and some other better features. So all of these Axions Generation 2 come with a magnesium housings, approximately 350 grams, even though there are two models, with the rangefinder and without the rangefinder. There is around 50 grams of difference, and normally there are two models, XQ35. If you look at this, the same XG35. This one, the XG35, you can also check my review on them. They offer bigger and better sensor, 640 by 480 pixels. While the XQ models, they feature the same sensor like before, 384 by 288. The sensors are now made by French company Winrat. They feature 17 microns of pixel pitch, so standard, 50 Hz of refresh rate, and NATD, noise equivalent thermal differences, of 40 millikelvins. So 2 points have to have more than 40 millikelvins of temperature difference that the device is able to distinguish between them. Like I said, the housing is made out of magnesium. It's really waterproofed really well, IPX7 standard. That means the device can be submerged up to 1 meter for 30 minutes, really a lot. Also, it works from -25 to +50, 15 centimeters of length, 7.5 of width, and 7.5, approximately 8 in height. They are compact, really compact, even though not as compact as the XM models. Made in Lithuania, 3 years of warranty, and also much longer period for when they offer you servicing options. So if something goes wrong, if you damage your device or something like that, they will still repair it. The LRF works to 1000 meters, and now it got a dedicated button. I think this was a really big upgrade. When you talk about the housing, also the power indicator light is still here, which I found it really useful when using them. All in all, when we talk about the build quality and materials, this is probably the best device on the market at the moment. I really prefer it above anything else, even from Pulsar. If you look at, I don't know, Talions and all other stuff, it's not completely on this level like the Axions. Axions are at the pinnacle when we talk about the materials and fit and finish and quality and so on. Okay, the battery is APS-5. In this device, because of improved algorithms and so on, it works more than 10 hours, 11 hours of continuous operation. Please check our real battery life videos, and you're able to see how it really performs. Not something what the producer writes, but what we measured, and it's astonishing how well it works. And also they are quite affordable, so I would suggest to anyone, just buy two and you're always on the safe side. Even though these devices do come with a Type-C port here on this side, where you're able to charge them also with a power bank or connect them to a computer. I don't think this is needed. A big plus of these batteries is also that, you know, like with cell phones, we always know that one day the battery will die and the device will need to be sent to a service center for a battery replacement, which is a hassle. Not with Pulsar. You just buy a new battery, put it in, and you have a new device. Like I said, the sensor, it's smaller than the XG model, but still, because of this new lens, 35mm fast aperture is one lens, the image quality is better than on the previous model. So the XQ38 had a bigger lens, but the aperture was 1.2. So this smaller lens with an aperture of 1 offers better optical performance. So in this regard, I would say also what is true is that the base magnification is not the same anymore. So this one has a little bit more, I think it's a little bit less lower magnification and wider field of view. The field of view is around 190, 186 meters on 1000 meters, I think. But you can check the specs for yourself. But when you look through it, the image quality is better. Even though the range of detection of 1350 meters stayed roughly the same, you are able to see the improvement in image quality. There's also 4 times digital zoom, and you are able to use these eyepieces with glasses. That's what's really important. And normally the focusing is still done with rotating the objective part around the lens. So nothing really changed in this regard. If you look at the buttons and the menus, so still normal configuration, 4 buttons on top, 1 additional button for the LRF, which I found it very, very useful. And here I do miss a button for taking videos and taking photos. Now this down button serves it. The menu also still, menu button works the same like on all Pulsar devices. A short press for basic options, long press for the advanced options. If you look thoroughly into any of their devices, when you know how to use one of their devices, you're able to use all of them. There's also 16 gigabytes of internal memory. But what had changed from the previous one to cut the cost, because honestly speaking, the XQ model without an LRF is only 1,690 euros, and for this lens and this sensor and this image quality, that's unbeatable price. What did change is that the new display is still AMOLED type, but it is smaller than previous. It's 640 by 480. So it's not disturbing. You are able to see really clearly and so on, but the pixels are a little bit bigger than, let's say, on the XG models, because the XG models, they have 1024 by 768 pixel count on the display. This is also the only part where this device, I would say, is a little bit weak compared to the competition. A lot of competition has a better display, but they usually still don't offer significantly better, or not even at all better, optical performance, which is quite funny. Okay, what I didn't mention, because I also think that everybody knows, you see what's in the package. You also get an adapter for the tripod, the charging cable, and so on, the carrying bag. And you're able to connect this device with through the Wi-Fi to your smartphone, where you're able to use the StreamVision 2 app, Generation 2 app. Much better app than before, even though the app previously was not, I would say, bad. It was one of the best, but the second generation is even better, and now the connection to the device is also much more stable. You also get a quick start guide in 6 languages. I think we came to the part which most of the people watching these reviews thinks it's the best and the favorite. I call it sweet and sour part. What I like about this device, what I think could have been done better, and what about the competition. So, like with all Axions, the build quality, the materials, the waterproofing, the power indicator, the form factor, it's really close to perfect. It's really, really good. Also, the startup time, one of the best in the industries. real startup time, which we measured, and real battery life. And this battery solution, we're able to change the battery so quickly and that they are available and not expensive. Again, one really big plus. Stream Vision app, normally a big plus. Optical performance is also very good. When you look at this device and say this is a 2000 euros device, whoa, it offers its punch in terms of image quality. I also think the price point to offer better devices from generation to generation and lower their price, this is something very unusual, I would say, in this world. So this is something where really Pulsar has to be praised because others don't do it like this. Okay, what is sour? I would say if you're a left-hand user, this is ergonomically not the best option, so you have to be a right-hand user. I also think that device with an LRF should have equivalent horizontal range, and even better if it would come with a ballistic software where you're able to connect your phone and input all the data so that it gives you click values on the distances where you measure. I also think that the display size could have been done better. It could have been bigger. I would say that the display in an XG would be perfect in this device, even though it's not so disturbing, honestly speaking, but we are splitting hairs here. I also think that if you look how small the XM Axions are, which in my opinion the Axion 2 XQ and the Axion 2 XM shouldn't have the same name because they're different devices, even though they are similar in appearance, but the XMs are much smaller. So I think that this device could have been also made smaller, and I believe that in the future it's going to be made smaller. The tripod thread, now it works like this. You have to open it and put the adapter here so that you're able to put it on a tripod. This is not the best solution, honestly speaking, and you will always forget this when you will need to put it on a tripod. Even when we do the tests and so on, we always forget this. So it would be much better if the thread would be here and the device would be adaptable with a tripod without any adapters and so on. I came to the end of what I think is sour. Now about the competition. You have quite a few competitors here when we talk about this sensor and this display, because the XG doesn't have so many competitors because of its bigger sensor. But when we talk about 384 by 288 sensor, there is a lot of competitors. Infrared finder is the first one, even smaller, even lighter, not on the same level of build quality. It does have a little bit better display, so optically they are quite close. But price-wise, this one is cheaper, made, I would say the fit and finish is a little bit better, and it's made in EU. So you have to try one and the another. I would say with the XG, there is a clear cut which one to choose. With this XQ, it's a little bit less. Then you have Contact Tracer, much bigger device, made out of plastic, but it has a 50mm objective lens option, a really interesting one. And then you have the HIC Micrographon. All of these devices are more expensive than this one. Don't offer, let's say, equivalent level of fit and finish and build quality. They don't offer made in EU and EU servicing possibilities, even though they are working on it. I would say majority of these Chinese companies will have services in Europe, already have them really soon. But they are usually made out of plastics, and optically they are, well, with this sensor they are a little bit closer, especially because of the display in this device. But as a whole package, I would say that Axion 2 LRF XQ35 still holds its ground, and it probably has an upper hand. The big minus is that the demand for these devices, because of their price point, is so high that with majority of dealers in Europe, you have to go into a waiting queue on a waiting line. So they write you down in the order books, and then you wait up to half a year to get the device, but the devices are really good, so a lot of people decides to wait this time just to have them. So I hope you found this review useful. If I forgot something, please use the comments below. I will answer them, and see you in our next review.